A pastor friend of mine from Ghana sent me a video to comment on. We have been discussing the topic of tithing, so I understood why he asked for my comments after watching the video he sent me. I will play the questions posed by the host to his guests, and then I'll give my response. But if you want to watch the full video of what I am answering to, you can find the link in the description box below. Let's listen to the host.
Who was Melchizedek then? Was he a priest?
So I'll be presenting the historical, cultural, and textual context. Contrary to a rather popular notion that stems from a misunderstanding of certain passages in the book of Hebrews, Melchizedek was not the same person as Jesus. Melchizedek is first mentioned in Genesis 14. In addition to being a king, he was described as a priest of El Elyon. His stature is revealed in that he blessed Abram, and to Melchizedek, Abram paid tithes. That is, Abram gave to the king priest a tenth of his spoils of war. The writer of the book of Hebrews uses this incident in addition with Psalms 110 to demonstrate the superiority of the priesthood of Jesus to that of the Levitical system. Beyond that, there were some similarities between Melchizedek and Jesus. So it may be said that the former, which is Melchizedek, was a type, that is, a picture or a symbolic preview of Jesus. That does not mean, however, that they were the same person. Melchizedek is not Jesus. Jesus is not Melchizedek. Actually, the text also indicates otherwise. Jesus was said to be a priest after, the Greek word is kata, the order, the Greek word is taxes, of Melchizedek. The Greek term taxes, which is order, suggests a similar arrangement. So, for example, just as Melchizedek was both a king and priest simultaneously, so Jesus is as well, according to the author of the book of Hebrews. In this connection, it means of similar arrangement, that is, the nature of or just like Melchizedek. The preposition kata, used with the accusative case, suggests the sense of in accordance with, corresponding to, as Daniel Wallace explains. Hence, a comparison is being drawn between Melchizedek and Jesus. The text is not saying that they are the same. Similarly, when the writer of Hebrews notes that Melchizedek was made like unto the Son of God, he makes a clear distinction between the two. We read, without father, without mother, without descent, having neither beginning of days nor end of life, but made like unto. He's made like unto the Son of God. He's not the Son of God. He's made like unto. The ESV renders it as resembling the Son of God. So Melchizedek is not Jesus. Jesus is not. Jesus resembles the order of Melchizedek. Also, I want you to observe the term likeness. In Hebrews 7:15, we read, and it is yet far more evident, for that after the similitude, that is the likeness of Melchizedek, they're not the same. He's in the likeness of. The participle aphomio denotes a comparison. The term becomes irrelevant if the two persons were the same in identity. This comparison between Melchizedek and Jesus negates the identification of them as being the same individual. The book of Hebrews is saying Melchizedek was a type of Christ. That is, certain features of his divine service, his reign as king and his function as a priest, were an Old Testament visual aid, a prophetic preview of various aspects of Jesus' role. But these two men were not the same person. Melchizedek is not Jesus. Jesus is not Melchizedek. Jesus' priesthood, according to the author of the book of Hebrews, is in the order of Melchizedek. Now we get to Hebrews 7:3, and we are told that he's without father, without mother, without descent, having neither beginning of days nor end of life, but make like unto the Son of God, abideth a priest continually. Now, none of these expressions in Hebrews 7:3 is to be assigned a literal meaning. They are terms that depict the nature of Melchizedek's priesthood in contrast to that of Aaron. They are terms that depict the nature of Melchizedek's priesthood in contrast to Aaron's priesthood. A careful consideration of the context is vital here in the interpretation of these expressions, which we are going to do. It was not that Melchizedek was without father, without mother, literally, or that he had no genealogical background. No. What the author of the book of Hebrews is conveying is that whereas Aaron's priesthood resulted from being a part of a family line, that is, you have to be a descendant of Aaron to be a priest, the priesthood in the order of Melchizedek was bestowed directly by God. That is what the author of the book of Hebrews is saying here, meaning his divine role was not genealogically derived nor handed down from his parents. And he's saying neither was Jesus' priesthood determined by a physical lineage, as in the case of Aaron the priest, where the genealogy of the priest has to come through the line of Aaron, Moses' brother. The book of Hebrews is saying that Jesus did not inherit it by means of a physical lineage, like Aaron's priesthood was determined by. We can show illustrations of this matter in some discoveries in Egypt. Among the Tel El Amarna tablets that was discovered in Egypt, there are several letters written to a pharaoh from an individual who is called King of Jerusalem. That is Jerusalem. The Canaanite king tells the Egyptian ruler that he did not receive his reign from his father and mother, but it had been conferred upon him by the mighty king. It reads, "Behold, as for me, it was not my father and not my mother who set me in this place. The arm of the mighty king brought me into the house of my father." This here helps to illustrate the phraseology in the book of Hebrews. It was not that Melchizedek was without father, without mother, literally, or that he had no genealogical background. No. The book of Hebrews is suggesting that Melchizedek did not owe his position to his mother or father, or through a lineage or genealogy. The same was true with reference to Christ, according to the book of Hebrews. It was not his Hebrew lineage that brought him to the priesthood. It was by means of a direct appointment of God. This is the argument the book of Hebrews is making when it says he had no father, he had no mother. He's not saying that Melchizedek is divine. No, he's comparing the Melchizedek priesthood to that of Aaron. We are also told, having neither beginning of days nor end of life. This is also not to be pressed literally. Let's read the Torah. In Numbers 8 we read, The Lord spoke to Moshe, saying, "This is the rule concerning the Levites. From the age of 25 years and upwards, he shall enter the service to work in the tent of meeting. From the age of 50, he shall retire from the work." According to the biblical record, the Torah, the Levitical priests served in the tabernacle from the time they were 25 years of age until they were 50. But no such limit is suggested in the scriptural record regarding Melchizedek. So the priesthood of Jesus does not have a beginning and an end like that of Aaron. It's unending like that of the Mosaic regime. It is not for a fixed term like that of Aaron, the author of the book of Hebrews argues. So the author of the book of Hebrews is not saying that Melchizedek is eternal, neither is he saying he is Jesus. Melchizedek is not Jesus, and Jesus is not Melchizedek. If you want to know who Melchizedek is, I've put links to videos that I've already recorded explaining Melchizedek. Thank you for your time. Shalom.